All right, we are live on Facebook. Well, first of all, good morning, Facebook. It's been a long time since I had a morning show go on here. Obviously, during COVID, we used to do 4 a day, and one of them was in the morning. So we'd have a morning show, and it's been a while since we did that. But Coach Gray is a busy man with everything that's happening in his life, and I'm honored to have him back on the show with some tremendous news of him taking over the position at Cornell. He's been the associate head coach. Now the program is completely his. We texted a little bit while you were in Guatemala, coaching, doing your thing down there, and I'm glad we finally got to make it work. I know you've obviously had a busy schedule because I'm sure everybody's wanting to interview you right now. But anybody doesn't know, he's the new head coach of Cornell Wrestling, Big Red, as they call it. He's also a grad of 2011. Once he graduated, he was a volunteer assistant from 11 to 13, full-time assistant 13 to 19. In 2019, he was made the associate head coach, which is kind of like the right-hand man of the head coach, right?
Pretty much second in command, right? Head assistant, associate head coach, just really just different title, but same difference.
Sure. And if people don't know, he was a 2-time All-American there. He was a 4-time All-Ivy League selection. He was 117 and 30 in his career there. So he is also a wrestler from Cornell University, and now he's taken over the program. But welcome, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. No, it's good, right? It's a fun day in general. We're at the 15th, so we can start recruiting the class of 23 today. So I was up late last night texting with kids. Technically midnight's the 15th, so getting on that. But no, thanks for having me on. It's good stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm actually honored, man. I sometimes, obviously we spoke early on when I started the show.
Mm-hmm.
I was honored to get in touch with you and have you come on, but I'm on like 530th right now or something like that. I stopped.
Yeah, you're a beast now. You're a pro at this.
Yeah, my questions are definitely a little bit better just because I've learned the sport a little more, right?
And I think practice makes perfect with anything, right?
Yeah, I'm getting to see
get used to asking the questions, phrasing them, getting some more insight with your questions, things like that. So.
Yeah, and obviously following a lot of different pages and groups now, I get to see certain things, and I don't know, I'm learning. It's fun being out in the matches. I got into taking pictures and stuff at places, so I get to talk to coaches, and you get to see how they coach, how they think, how they. Most part, I'm just like, hey, what should I tell my kids, right? Like I'm trying.
Yeah. So you're just kind of getting engulfed in the culture of it all.
Yeah, man. So first of all, you've been at Cornell a long time, and during your tenure there, 111 and 27 in dual meets, 44 and 1 Ivy League, 8 Ivy League titles, 6 Iowa titles, 8 top 10 NCAA finishes, 9 individual NCAA champions, 31 All-Americans, 31 Iowa titles, 41 first team All-Ivy honors in your tenure there. Obviously, I know Rob Cole had a big thing to do with that as well. You guys were building this program together, and he was your coach initially. Right?
Yeah. So he coached me at Cornell. So
I'm sure there's a lot of mutual respect there. But
sure,
anyway, while you're there, a lot of great accomplishments. Looking back at all that now and getting the seat, man, you got to be pretty stoked.
No, just excited. Obviously, I know I got big shoes to fill, right? Rob did a great job building this program. So really my goal is to just kind of springboard it and push it even further. You know what I mean? I know that I am in a good spot, and I'm, grateful to have the resources that I have. Right. But there's no settle in me as a person. Right. So I want to continue to build and grow and really just kind of usher in a new era. And that's really my goal. Right. I'm working my butt off to get a great staff in here. I'm really close to being able to announce my staff, and I think it's going to turn a lot of heads. Honestly, we got, multiple time national champions and, world medalists and things like that are going to be on staff, which is really crazy for, just an Ivy League staff in general, but also I think a college staff, and then looking to build the RTC as well, right? So continue to build our RTC. I really believe, and I mentioned in a couple of podcasts I've done, that this trickle down effect is what gets the best teams to the top. Having just a stable of just RTC athletes that are studs, that are doing really great things for themselves and getting great training, but also helping and affecting and mentoring the college guys and helping them grow as well. So just this big group of guys that are just willing to help each other to jump levels, right? So that's the goal, and that's kind of, I guess, my vision for it, right? To grow the RTC, and that in turn will continue to help the guys on the team, the guys on the Cornell team, jump levels as well. And obviously bringing in recruits, bringing in quality individuals that fit into our culture and are going to be a great match and continue to build the Cornell Wrestling family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you guys have a big you got like a Spartan Combat type deal over there too, right?
Yeah, so our RTC is just the naming what went to Spartan Combat. So we're the Spartan Combat RTC, and Joe DeSena, who's the CEO of Spartan, was a Cornell grad, and the Spartan,
awesome guy, right?
I think the Spartan, just the way of thinking, the way the business is organized, just what Spartan believes is very similar to wrestling and Cornell wrestling, right?
Yeah, and it looks like, I think it's a really good thing because he's starting to jump into.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Joe's awesome, right? And he just, in general, right? He runs events. That's what he does. And his children got into wrestling some years ago, right? And he wasn't going to just sit back. He's going to run events too. So, he put on some great events. I was actually down at team camp for. With Kyle and Vito and Yanni for the Olympics or whatnot. But he did it, the Spartan Nationals down in Jacksonville, Florida, and it looked awesome. They had beach wrestling, they had women's wrestling, they had Greco-Roman, freestyle, folk style, just really kind of like a wrestling festival. So
yeah, we were there.
Perfect. Yeah. So
it was awesome. My son wrestles for Central Florida Wrestling Associate. That's his club.
With Coach Palazzo.
Yeah, what an awesome guy. What he and his family and his club have meant to my children, I could never pay them back. My son has just become such a good man through that program. But we got to go see that. I got to meet him in person, Joe. I had him on my show. And he told his story a little bit, which is pretty crazy.
It's a cool story. It really is, right?
We probably could have talked for hours and hours, but he's a guy that's like, I've got 27 minutes and 33 seconds, and then you're cut off. I got to move on. Like he's got to go, right? He's busy.
Very regimented, and he's scheduled, I should say, with his time. This is right then.
Yeah, but he welcomed me there. He allowed me to cover the event. He allowed me to take photos. I got to watch his kids wrestle, and
it's cool.
It's pretty good, man. So obviously, Rob Cole is the guy that you've known since you were, a young teenager, right? You've probably been around him your entire adult life.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of a sudden, he decides to take the helm over here at Stanford. And first of all, good job to Stanford for finally making that right? And and getting a guy like Rob Cole, I think will be really good for him. But you hear this, you probably heard it before we heard it. You probably knew it was coming, but it happens. And now they say, hey, we're not going anywhere else. We're staying in the Cornell family. Mike Gray, you're our coach. It's your program now. What was that moment like?
It was it's a dream come true, right? I love Cornell. I wanted to always coach Cornell, be the head coach at Cornell. So, it was just really a surreal moment, honestly. Putting the time in being with Cornell for 15 years total. So no, it was a great moment for myself. It was tough because when I found out, I was in Guatemala, so it didn't really hit me until I got home and saw my wife and stuff. But it's a great honor, right? There's so many people, so many great people that are involved in the Cornell Wrestling family, and for them to trust me with with the keys, I guess. Right. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful. And I'm really honored and blessed to be able to be the head coach. But, with that said, it's just the first thing I did was get to work. You know what I mean? Make sure the guys on the team are all good, make sure the recruits are all good, and then work immediately to hire a great staff and bring in some RTC athletes, right? So
and when you say all good, I'd imagine you had to. People were. I mean, I think you were pretty.
No, I mean everybody was thrown off, right? So
100% in the recruiting business anyway, but you still have to
Yeah.
go to these guys and say, look, I'm Mike Gray, not Rob Cole. I know you came here for certain reasons. Are you cool with that, right?
Yeah, no. So I mean, so we got, I guess, on Twitter, right? It got out that he was out there interviewing, so wasn't even hadn't even taken the job yet. But at that point, I just started calling all of our committed recruits and the guys on our team, like, listen, here's the deal. Rob's out in Stanford. He's looking at it. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if he's going to take it or not, but I do know that I'm going to be here, and whether I get the head job or not, like, I love Cornell Wrestling. So I think we just showed a lot of strength at that time, as much as I could for Cornell. And I think that resonated with a lot of people
So you were prepared. So basically you were like, hey, look, I'm the assistant coach here, or associate head coach here.
Yeah. So I'm
hire me or not, Cornell's my home. I'm not going anywhere. Right.
Yeah. And realistically at that point, Rob's looking out there. Right. So when people are trying to figure out what's going on, I mean, for lack of better terms, right, I'm the interim head coach at that point. He's out on the interview, and yeah, granted, he might come back and it's no big deal, but he ended up taking the job. So, and in that moment, I'm kind of like the interim head coach, trying to keep everything afloat, right?
The glue, right?
Because everything's going crazy, right? You got people on Twitter going crazy, and this.
Meanwhile, you're trying to coach an American team down at Pan Am's.
Yeah, and people are, just going off and spewing lies. So just trying to make sure that our guys on our team block out the noise, and also, our recruits talking to their parents and just really instilling the confidence in them that I have in this place and that I have in the program. And like, listen, I've been around this program for a long time. If I'm the guy, we'll make some changes, but Cornell is not going anywhere. We have, such wonderful support from, people in the community, and also our Cornell Wrestling alumni. We have a world-class education, the best wrestling facility in the world. There's so many great resources that you're going to get here that you can't get other places. So just relax and let's let this blow over, and we'll be as strong as ever. And that was really my message.
For sure. And obviously your team is obviously staying together. I know I had Coach Vogar on my show a couple weeks back, and he absolutely loves Cornell, right? I mean, he's fully committed to Cornell. I'm sure he's hoping
Vogar's the man. Vogar's the man for sure.
I'm sure he's hoping the third boy comes through the program too at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's doing a camp down here in Boca for a week. I think he's just 70 kids or something, but what a cool guy to meet. And
he's a really good dude.
To listen to his mind, because obviously his background is Russian wrestling, right? It's not American wrestling. Absolutely. So the adjustments he had to make, but talking to like an American coach, then talking to him and hearing some of the differences in their beliefs and how they even coach their kids.
Yeah.
Everything is for a certain reason. And it was cool to listen to him about weight cut, to have him tell me the different beliefs. He's like, no, I don't care if you're weight cutting. If mama says eat, you got to eat, right? He's like,
cool. He's funny though, because I mean, like, you talk about different beliefs. Like, Vito didn't start competing like big, like often until he's like sixth grade or so.
Wow. It's funny. If I talk to some coaches who have little boys and they're in the gym and they're working, but they're like, we probably won't put him into an event till he's 12, 13, 14 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just different for everybody, right? But seemed to work out for Vito. So,
so last time we talked, it was from your house because you were fully entrenched in COVID. The Ivy League has been obviously the one area of our country that kind of just turned the lights off on not in a bad way. That's just that was their decision, right? And
Yeah,
so,
it is what happened, right?
yeah, so I'd imagine that was a tough for you. But what are first of all, how were you able to keep the kids trained through it? What, was it Spartan? Was it your training center? Was it your RTC? And then on the other side, what are expectations next season? I mean, we've heard people suggest that maybe they're going to shut down another season. Is this real or no?
No, it's not. So I guess the first part of the question, right? So we last year obviously got shut down, and it is what it is. So we did our best. So we took our guys on a Southern tour. We took them to we did a card in North Carolina. Then we went down to Florida to train, and then we did some Penn RTC cards. We wrestled NJRTC in a card. So we tried to give our guys as many options as possible. Wrestling on those cards, those Rockfin cards and stuff. And I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I thought we did the best we could, and we gave the guys the opportunity to compete. So was it perfect? No, but it was something, right?
Yeah.
And then, towards the end of the summer, or not the end of the summer, the spring, right? Towards the end of the spring, then we had those freestyle events again. So you had juniors, U23s. So they had more events to compete in again, which was really good, right? But then on the second part, like next year, like we're full go. Our crew team competed in May. We just had 3 girls that qualified for the outdoor track and field championships in Eugene, Oregon. They just competed. So we're full go. Fall sports are on. Football's excited. Soccer. All the fall sports are really excited. Obviously, we are as well. So the Ivy League is full go. So
that's all, and it'll be good to see because I think the Ivy League wrestling is one of the elite divisions in college wrestling, and we really miss those guys at these large tournaments. Seeing them.
Yeah.
At these big events like the NCAA's, who knows if things would have been different or not, results would have been different or not, but it would have been nice to see them compete, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were excited about our team last year. we were ranked number 2 going into the preseason. So we had a great team, and we still have a great team. You know what I mean? So we're excited, and I guess I'm excited, right?
Yeah. Well, and I know, I've talked to some of your counterparts at Princeton and Penn and those other places, and they all want to wrestle too, right? Like it's.
Oh yeah, no, I think everybody's excited to get back. I think that we have the horsepower to do some really special things outside of the Ivy League and the EIWA, like on the national level. I think we have some really good guys that really actually got a lot better, right? Because Julian Ramirez, Chris Foca, John Lowe, Jacob Cardenas, Ben Darmstadt, Luis Fernandez. These guys all wrestled with Kyle and Scotty Boykin, you know what I mean? And all the others, all during, last year, all within RTC, right?
Yeah, I got to meet Julian down here. He was at
So our guys, granted they didn't get to compete a ton, but they got great training all last year. You know what I mean? And it was under the freestyle umbrella, but it was still really good. And I think that they got better. Our guys jumped levels last year, right? So
I think the wrestling community really did a great job through this COVID, because I think they really still were able to do things that I think other sports were afraid to do. And I think it's really going to help on the outside, on the other side here. And then I think I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said, and I don't know, people would probably argue with me on this, but that's fine. It's one of the best things that happened to sport is getting sport shut down, because I feel like look at these camps that are opening up with over 400, 500 kids, these tournaments that maybe people didn't sign up for before, but now they're like just drooling for wrestling, and they missed the opportunities, and they forgot what it felt like to love a sport. Would you say some of that is true?
Yeah, no, I think that, you miss what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
In the most basic terms. Yeah. So I think people are excited, right? It kind of invigorated people, and, they kind of viewed it, now they're kind of viewing it more as like a blessing, like in the sense that, you take things for granted for sure. You do.
Yeah, you're like, we'll go to next year's. We'll go to next year's. We'll go to the next event. We'll go to the next tournament.
Yeah,
And then, the lights go off, right?
Yeah, and then when there's nothing, you're like, oh my gosh. So like camps and certain tournaments. Yeah, I think that I think people are excited, and I think that people are really understanding that this is a blessing, and they're taking advantage of their opportunities, which is really good to see.
Yeah, the neighborhood garages became like the go-to, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had mats in my garage. Yeah. I think everybody did.
Absolutely.
What I mean?
So obviously you've been there a long time and you've been deeply entrenched in the program. I'm sure your ideas and your opinions mattered. And I'm sure you were able to put a lot of those into place.
Yeah.
Do you think now that the program is completely yours, are you going to be able to incorporate any ideas that you've wanted to over time, or have you been pretty much able to have the autonomy to kind of do what you feel is necessary already?
I think a little bit of both. I think that I've had the autonomy to do what I wanted, and Rob's been on board with that. But I think there's always things that you can change, right? And I think that not in a bad way, but just in general, right? Adapt and continue to grow. So that's really where I'm at with it, right? There's certain things that I'd like to just tinker with and continue to try to develop the most efficient and I guess positive way of doing things that's going to create a great experience for our guys, right? A great experience, an overall experience, academically, athletically, socially, just really give them a great opportunity. So I like the one thing that I like to just change the RTC a little bit and change the model a little bit and try to revamp it to make it more of a I guess a flowing business, so to speak. So I work with Joe on that too. Honestly, Joe DeSena, because obviously he's got a ton of experience with a big business, right? So
you're seeing these RTCs, right? Right now it's RTCs is going to be where.
It's like the straw that stirs the drink. Honestly, it's really important to have a strong RTC. So making some alterations there, and changing some things up there, and then always just trying to examine your training and see what you can do differently there. And from the academic side of things, maybe think about how we can be more efficient with our time. So I think there's things that I would tinker, but we're not going to reinvent the wheel at all.
No, yeah, what's worked, right?
Exactly. So no, we're definitely not going to reinvent the wheel. Maybe make some changes. And definitely make some changes in some areas as well. But it's worked, so we're going to keep it going. Yeah,
and I think I've seen this with your RTC as well. How important is it right now that these RTCs are kind of, is recruiting the wrong term, but they're getting commits from high school girls to commit to their RTCs, to go to their colleges, to hopefully in the long run flow that into where now Cornell Wrestling, Princeton Wrestling, Penn Wrestling, North Carolina.
Oh, it's huge. Right? It's huge. So for us personally, we're starting off with a women's club. So just like the math club at a university, you know what I mean? Like whatever it might be, we're going to have a women's wrestling club this year. Right. So that club has to be started by women that are at Cornell. And then from there, as it grows, we can, bring in women, into Cornell, and they can be part of that club. And I believe in NCAA wrestling for women, you can compete amongst all the other teams as a club. So there's not like a separation.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
so this is really creating a D1 kind of.
Yeah, we're definitely in the infancy stages, right? And I wouldn't lie to you and tell you we're not. And we're working to try to figure it out for sure. And the goal is to have it continue to grow and grow and grow. Yeah, from the Cornell side of things and also our RTC. So we think the best way to go about it is to start with the women's club this year and then see how that grows, and then try to get support to get women into school that would then be part of that club and grow that club. And once the club grows, then moving it into a varsity sport down the road. And then once it's a varsity sport, then you can start moving women into the RTC and go from there.
And then Ivy League duels at Yankee Stadium with all the girl teams.
It's growing so fast, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
Didn't you guys do that once, like the Ivy Leagues? Was it Yankee Stadium or down by Rutgers? Or?
No, so Princeton wrestled Rutgers at Rutgers football field. So they had I think they had 5,000 or 6,000 fans, and they wrestled in the end zone. And it was before a football game. So so we haven't done it. I mean, we wrestled in MSG, Madison Square Garden. We're looking at wrestling in the Prudential Center this year, which is pretty cool too. So yeah, so we haven't wrestled and we haven't done one of those field events, but you never know.
It's coming.
You never know.
It's cool what hockey's done, right? Where they go to these big stadiums now once a year. And
yeah, the outdoor classics they call it. Yeah, those are really neat. Neat.
Hey, so you had a couple guys. I mean, I think you're the coach. You were coaching the entire team, correct, down in Pan Am in Guatemala? You won the coach on the staff? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, we had Coach Russell and Coach Zadek. Those were the USA coaches, and then everybody had their personal coaches. So I was coaching Kyle and Vito.
Yeah, and then of course you had Yanni out in Poland doing really good things, right?
Yeah,
but what was the feel, man, going down to Guatemala, seeing USA kind of sweep the medals? And
that was fun. I mean, I think to be honest with you, when
World Wrestling again, right?
Yeah. So we were lucky enough to get over to France in January. That was the first tournament that WWL had back, that was open for everybody to kind of to go to. So Kyle, Vito, and Yanni wrestled in that, which is awesome. So we had been back as an RTC and as Team USA, right? But going to Guatemala, it was neat for sure. I knew that with with Cuba not being there, I knew it wasn't going to be as strong as it has been in the past. But once again, you got to block out, the noise, so to speak. You can only control what you can control.
Yeah.
You can only wrestle who's in front of you. And Kyle and Vito did a great job, right? They just smashed whoever was in front of them, and that's awesome, right? You do what you can. So
yeah, I don't think anybody's given their medals back because the world was under a certain sanction, because everybody had to wrestle, everybody had to play football, college football, baseball. Everybody was playing in the same circumstances.
Yeah, no, for sure. So
nobody's going to say, "Oh, here's my medal."
So they did a great job, and then. So I actually wasn't able to go to Poland because, it was the first week of being the head coach, and I had to get things squared away. So I plan to be at the last Olympic training camp, and then I plan to be at the Olympics with Kyle. So,
nice.
So that's, I believe I'll have my staff in place by then. So that'll be really important. And it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity.
How does our USA team stack up for the Olympics right now?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
No, I think I got one of our guys popping their head over here. No, I think we have a great team. We really do. You know what I mean? Gilman's a really tough competitor. He's a guy that the foreigners don't want to wrestle because they know it's going to be a war. Right, they know it's going to be super hard fought bout. So I think Gilman is, as tough as they come. Obviously, Kyle is ready. He's ready to go, right? And then you have David, who's in the same boat as Kyle, and then you got Kyle Snyder, who's already won a gold medal, right? He has so much experience, and he's really made some great changes and he's really progressed his wrestling, I think. And then you have Gable, who's just a freak. Right.
What else can you say about that guy?
No, I think
who does backflips at that size, right?
I just think that the thing that's probably even more impressive than everything he does is his confidence in himself. That's the thing. But
that came, right? Didn't he talk about how that was his Achilles heel before? And
I think so. But being down there and being with him, around him at the trials a bit, and then him moving into the Pan Ams, and being around him at camps and stuff. he's like, hey, I'm just gonna do my thing, right? He says, I'm gonna do me and take care of business, and he does it, and it's really impressive.
I mean, is it his to lose? I mean, it seems like he's.
I mean, there's some really great guys here, right? Like Gino pitches Philly, and then Taha Agul. So those are really good guys, but I just don't think that they've wrestled somebody like Gil.
He's like a 138 in a heavyweight body.
Yeah, no, he's so agile. He's so athletic. He's got great quickness. He obviously has great strength. And no, I mean, he moves and can flow. I mean, Kyle was wrestling him before Pan Am's, right? When they were training down in Guatemala, because we were there a couple of days before. And Kyle was like, I mean, this is, the feel he's giving me is no different than Yanni would give me, in these basic positions and flowing through positions. And it's really impressive. It's really, really impressive.
You don't see someone like that often, right?
Especially at that weight class, right? To have such a feel. It's just, it's not normal.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey man, I'm glad to get, 30 minutes of your time this morning.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's been great to, answer some of these questions and really just continuing to build and really just kind of get the Cornell message out there that we're close to getting our staff and we're doing a great job on the RTC side of things, and we're keeping our recruits and getting on new recruits. Obviously today's the 15th, and it's just an exciting time. It's really an exciting time. I think change fosters growth more than anything. I think that's the big thing, right? Anytime there's change, you can really grow, and that's the route that my program's taken. We're changing right now, but we're using it to help us grow. And there's really a lot of exciting things up here and up on the horizon for Cornell.
Yeah, and I saw a great Florida kid commit to Cornell over the last few months, and he's a really good kid. Like him a lot, and I think he's going to be great for your program. Bill Crum, before you leave, Bill Crum said, "Great to see Mike on. Congrats on the new job. Looking forward to this year's Iowa."
Yes.
Antonio Thomas Sr., he's a coach down here.
Okay.
He said, "Congrats, Coach. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Thomas." And then Coach Andy Pitts said, "Go Big Red." So some good stuff here. Obviously, early morning.
I appreciate the support.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see the views in the comments later on. I'll share it. I'll tag Cornell Wrestling and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then, man, keep kicking ass out there, Coach. And
I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on. And we're here to stay, and we're going to continue to build and go Big Red, baby.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
All right, you as well.